Hello, and welcome to this week's Coronation Street Spoilers. Week commencing the 17th of July 2023. With Toya still missing, Spider is on a mission. Spider receives a text telling him to follow instructions or Toya will be killed. Leanne tells Nick how Spider has banned her from involving the police as it could put Toya's life at risk. Having arrived at the waste ground, Spider sees the kidnapper has a gun. Suddenly, a shot rings out. Meanwhile, Elaine is mortified when Audrey tries to talk to her about her supposed depression, instead confiding in Audrey that she's having doubts about Steven. Audrey assures her that Steven loves her very much. When Steven hears how a potential buyer for the factory is having a terrible time as his wife's life insurance won't pay out after she took her own life, Steven is quietly horrified to realize his own plans are unraveling. Steven screws up the fake suicide note and hides it. Back at home, Elaine tells Steven it's clear he doesn't love her and they should cancel the wedding. Steven reels. But when he hears Mary chatting about Isabella needing some hiking boots so she doesn't fall to her death in the Peak District, Steven is given food for thought. Begging Elaine to give him another chance, Steven suggests a romantic break in the Peak District. Whilst Elaine heads off to pack, Steven checks over her life insurance. Elsewhere, Lauren reveals that her dad has asked her to support him at his sentencing tomorrow. Max makes it clear that if she does, she'll be on her own from now on. Also today, Aadi flirts with Amy as she arrives for work. When Dev reveals that Asher is going to show Amy the ropes while they go for a round of golf with Darren, a local entrepreneur, Aadi is disappointed. Darren reveals his business plans to Dev, who suggests Aadi might like to be his right-hand man. Aadi accepts the job. Finally, Brian and Isabella return from their trip. Brian admits to Mary that he's had enough of Isabella. Mary urges him to be honest with her. As Steven and Elaine get ready to leave for the Peak District, a family photo reveals to Elaine that the woman she saw Steven on a Zoom with was his ex-wife, Gabrielle. Covering her alarm, Elaine heads out. Telling Tim that Steven has been lying to her, Elaine starts to piece together all Steven's suspicious activity. Elaine shows Tim a metal box in which Steven files things away. Tim prizes it open and they're shocked to discover the forged life insurance documents. With Elaine out of the way, it's Tim who waits at the flat to confront Steven. As an angry Tim tells him the game's up and they're going to report him to the police, a struggle ensues. Meanwhile, as Mary and Isabella clash once again, Rita clocks Brian's wistful gaze at Mary and realizes he has feelings for her. Isabella catches Brian on the phone to her builder in Naples and realizes he wants rid of her. Brian finally admits to Isabella that he'd like her to leave, but when she bursts into tears and reveals Brian is her only friend, what will he do? Elsewhere, Aadi's suited and booted ready to start his new job. When Amy invites him to join her at a charity gala that evening, Aadi's chuffed. Aadi tries to talk to Darren about Dev's desire to invest, but when it becomes clear Darren's main interest is to ensure Aadi picks up his wife from an event that night, Aadi's gutted, knowing he'll have to let Amy down. Aadi collects Courtney, with the intention of driving her home. But when Courtney asks him to take her for a kebab, he soon finds himself enjoying her company. Also today, Max breaks the news to Lauren her dad was given an 18-year sentence. After the events of last night, Audrey jumps to the conclusion that it was Elaine's intention to bump Steven off so that she could claim the insurance, not the other way round. Craig calls at number 4 with news from the hospital. Meanwhile, Darren reveals he has a meeting. Aadi hopes to sit in, but he's disappointed when Darren explains he'd like him to take Courtney shopping instead. Aadi confides in Courtney how he took the job hoping he would gain some business experience and be able to share his own ideas. Revealing she has an MBA, Courtney suggests he shares his ideas with her instead. Together Courtney and Aadi cajole Darren into agreeing to a meeting with Dev. Aadi gets a text from Courtney telling him to meet her at Darren's office. Aadi arrives to find Courtney alone. Making it clear she's got the hots for him, Courtney leans in for a kiss. Will Aadi respond? Elsewhere, Paul arrives at the MND support group meeting. A girl called Shelley introduces herself, but Paul's overwhelmed at the sight of her wheelchair and flees. Also today, when a fellow solicitor congratulates Adam on becoming a father, Adam suffers another major panic attack. Finally, Brian and Mary wave Isabella off to the airport. Brian thanks Mary for her support, his feelings clearly running deeper than he's letting on. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss next week's Coronation Street Spoilers.